Okay, it's all you, girl. So you can either just do like a quick intro. I'm sure everyone listened to the National Wake Up Call, so they already know how amazing you are, but just super quick, and then you can dive right into your magic.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, I'm so excited. I wish I was there. My
Right?
God, I'm gonna say next time you gotta fly me out so I can hang with you guys. Because like being at a retreat with Micah Folsom would be a dream. So you guys are lucky. I mean, you have no idea. Like I would give anything to have that leadership. So I'm really excited to be here, you guys. And yeah, I kind of hate doing my own introductions with like the spiel, but I also know when I hear a speaker, I want to know like where they're ranked, what they're doing, that kind of a thing. I can tell you that I came into coaching 4.5 years ago, almost 5, which seems nutty to say. I came in at a super, super low point in my life. I didn't realize it was so low until I got out of it. I had 2 businesses over the course of my life. So I owned a Pilates studio for like 15 years, had sold that and started a cold pressed juice company. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard this story. So I had taken out $100,000 loan from the bank to start that company. The website alone costs like 40 grand. That's what we do when we start a business. Like that's how most people start businesses, right? I had to rent brick and mortar. I had to hire employees. I had to figure out how to make juice. I had to deal with a whole lot of legal red tape in the juicing world. It was ridiculously overwhelming and it was hugely successful, but I still never put a penny in my pocket. So I had that business for 2.5 years. And as much as it was crushing it and we were selling like tens of thousands of bottles of juice, overhead is real in a business and paying back $100,000 loan is real. And it eventually slowly just crushed my soul. I had a 3 and a 4-year-old and I was never, ever, 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 ever home. And the amount of stress that was on me 24 hours, 7 days a week was just incredible in a bad way. And my marriage was really, truly unraveling. My whole family was all for the dream, right? And I made a crazy decision. I mean, if anyone, my husband and I didn't even tell our parents or my siblings that are like over every single week that I was walking away from the company to pursue this crazy thing called coaching, because no one, like we would have just heard it every which way, you know, like you're going to lose $100,000 and walk away from the business you just sunk your soul into for the last 2.5 years to go be a Beachbody coach. Great idea. But I had stumbled into a challenge group. And in that challenge group, I found a solution that I had desperately been seeking for 20 years. So I have a disordered eating past and had a horrible relationship with food, my body, low self-esteem because of all of it. And I was just desperate for a solution. And I was a terrible challenger. So even though I found a solution, I was still never showed up in the challenge group, never posted. So don't always think it's your rock stars that are going to make rock star coaches. I think so often your biggest messes make your most successful coaches. Because when I look at my team, myself and all of my elite coaches came in hot freaking messes. And this coaching community and this opportunity to serve others and to get outside of our self-absorbed, you know, just victimization mindsets, save us, truly save us. And so I was a mess and my coach kept saying, you should be a coach. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And so I understood what she told me for probably every single month for 14 months in a row, that things weren't going to change for me until I started helping others. And she said, you know, that's the magic of coaching, Moira. You will finally show up for yourself when you have to show up for others. And as insane as it sounded to me, because I thought I'm the last person that could ever lead anyone, it made sense at the same time. And so I reached out to a couple of friends and lo and behold, all 3 of our lives miraculously transformed in 1 month. And if it hadn't been for me asking 2 friends, I wasn't coaching, I wasn't trying to get Success Club points, I wasn't trying to do any of that. I just did it in a last ditch effort to save myself. None of this would have happened. So I encourage my challengers out of the gate. I encourage my new coaches when they're not ready to coach. I tell them that story. I say, guys, if I hadn't asked a couple people and gotten a couple friends to do this with me before I was ready to coach, coaching never would have happened. Because what I fell in love with was, yes, my own transformation inside and out, but I fell in love with being able to create change in people's lives. That's what I wanted to do with the Pilates studio. That's what I wanted to do with the juice business. And I was doing it from home. And I was there for my babies. And I picked them up and I dropped them off. And, you know, like, it was what I'd always searched for, creating impact and having the freedom to do it from wherever, whenever. So when I do believe that, you know, I always say, like, anyone can do this. I didn't come in with anything that you don't come in with. I don't have any special powers or anything. What I did come in with was a different mindset for this business, a different perspective, because there is no overhead. There is no brick and mortar. There is no loan to pay back. So when, sorry, can I curse on this call? Yes?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. When shit goes wrong in the business, you know, new coaches, I hear it every day. They're complaining, they're negative. People are saying no, coach relations messed something up. I was literally like, there's like coach relations. There's like a phone number I can call. This is insane. Like, you know, I would get paid $14 and I'm like, I got paid $14. Like, I was always so insanely grateful for all of this. I was never the pessimist. I was never the negative person. I mean, I was a negative person. A whole lot of that shifted with coaching, but I saw this as such a freaking gift from day one. You know, when I made my first $300, I was just like blown away at the fact that I made $300 from home. Unlike a lot of people that are pissed because they made $300 and they're not making $800 yet. I'm like, what? That is just not how I operated. So you have to, if you want to go anywhere in this business, you have to shift your mindset. So I'm going to go off on a little bit of a non-vision tangent for a second, because it's something that I've just seen really crystal clearly lately, is truly the difference between diamond coaches. And so I just had my diamond retreat in January, and a lot of people come every year, right? And I'm like, why were there 50 diamonds at my diamond retreat last year? And we ended the year with one elite coach. Why were there 50 diamonds and 3 premier coaches at the end when everybody wanted to go elite? Like, what am I doing wrong? And what I realized is, you guys, you know what to do. Like, Micah and I are doing the exact same thing today as we did in the first year of our business. Everybody knows what to do. It's called the Business Activity Tracker. And you can show up and know the strategy. But 2 things. If you don't have the vision for where you're going, you're never going to show up and do the strategy. But if you don't have the mindset of a leader, you'll never get there. You'll just never, ever, ever get there. So you have to dig in. I love strategy. I love numbers. I love tracking. Like, I love all that business stuff. I'm like a business junkie when it comes to that. But I give such a huge chunk of my life and my time to working on my vision, working on my mindset, getting clear on my goals, seeing where I'm going. And if I didn't have that as the foundation of my every single day, I would never show up and hustle. And so what was the aha that I had was, there is no difference between diamond and elite coach except mindset. We're doing the same things. And I started to think about, I was at, I don't even know if I shared this on the National Wake Up Call. I don't think I would have, no. So I was at NLC and I was talking to Sandy, who runs the National Wake Up Call. And we were just talking about Summit, and she was talking about some changes that she was making. And she said, you know, I got to like try to deal with all the complaints. And I was like, God, dude, people like, I'm like, yeah, I guess you got 20,000 coaches. People are going to complain. She's like, yeah, it's always that diamond track. And I was like, is that who complains the most? And she said, yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, they've got the voice, but they don't have the mindset yet. And I said it very like matter of factly, not judgy. I was like, oh yeah, makes sense. They have the voice, you know, they're a diamond coach. They can complain, but they just don't, they totally lack the mindset of elite coaches. Because when you walk down to the elite floor, the shift is complaining about your mini fridge being full and not being able to put stuff in it, complaining about the lines at the elevator, complaining about the water running out. And then you walk down on the elite floor and it's like, oh my God, she's amazing. This is amazing. Can you believe this is our life? Like, it's just, it is a different land. It is truly a completely different landscape. And you feel that energy shift. And so I've been so incredibly aware, like when I see, you know, my diamond emerging leaders and like the chitter chatter or the negativity or even just frustration, guys. Like if you want to really level up and go places in this business, frustration has no place. You want to hear what happened to me yesterday? I lost $1,500 because I dropped rank in a business center. And one of my coaches, we were just chatting this morning and I was joking in my 2-star thread. And they were like, why didn't you tell us? And I was like, why am I going to tell you? Like, moving on, you know? I was like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to take 5 seconds to even allow my mind to think about the $1,500 I just lost. I've just got to show up and do what I do every day. That's the only thing I can do. That's the shift in mindset. So when people are complaining about being on hold with coach relations or their customers not showing up in the challenge group, or like you can't stay focused on the problem. You have to live in the solution. You just got to go right to the solution. I got to fix that business center by Wednesday at midnight. You know, your energy in your challenge group sucks. What are you going to do to fix it? You know, like you've just got to always live in that mindset of like, okay, I see the problem. How are we going to solve it? And so shifting that mindset is huge. And that's going to be done in things like your morning, like first hour of your day. What are you doing every single day to prime the mindset pump? Are you reading your personal development? I will tell you that personal development at 10 o'clock at night probably won't get you very far. Your tank is so empty. Your brain is so fried. You're not going to retain any of that. You've got to open up your eyes in the morning and have a clean slate and let it soak in. Reading your PD in the morning or listening to personal development, a lot of times I do it when I'm working out, is going to be, that first hour of the day will 100% dictate the next 23. Whatever you're doing in that first hour of the day. So you've got to wake up and read your vision, look over your goals, prime your mindset, get your workout in. If any of you guys are like waking up to your children waking you up, I'm like, I don't even know how you're functioning. I don't even know how you're functioning. You've got to get up earlier and you've got to take care of you first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And so you've got to prime your mindset. And so what does that look like for me? It is, I'll tell you 3 really quick things that I do every single morning, come hell or high water. And I've been on like 16 airplanes since January 1st. And I'm doing it on the airplane. You know, like no matter what, I always say you have 10 minutes. Tony Robbins always says, if you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life. So 10 minutes is all this takes. I love to take more. I love to take like 30, 45. And then I'm always like, I got to get my workout in. I got to put my mindset stuff down. It's like torture to put it down to go work out and go like do my life. Because this is what feels good. So every morning, no matter what, I wake up, I shoot my Energize, and the very first thing I do, if you guys don't have the Rise Up Planner, my computer's sitting on it, you should get it, because it is this exact process that I have done to build to a 7-figure business, and I was number 5 in the company 2 years in. I forgot about all those stats things. I just told you my story. So I did all of this, and then I turned around and taught my team. And the only reason we were the number 5 team at the end of 2 years in for me was because they were all having so much success with this exact same system. So I had the most leadership in the company the second year I was a coach because of what I'm telling you. Because I was telling my team, when you wake up in the morning, you need to wake up and start writing down what you're grateful for. You need to wake up and look at your goals. You need to wake up and read your vision. What is the quote? Without vision, the people will perish, right? The people will perish. You will perish without a vision. And so this is full circle. I want you to really pay attention to like how these 3 things go together. So I call it writing in your book of wins or your book of proof. So let's start with vision. So everybody should have a vision for their life. Vision is deeper than goals. So there's a difference between goals and vision. Goals are absolutely in your vision. It's kind of easiest to start with goals, right? I want to be a top 25 coach. I want to be 10-star. I want to be 5-star elite. I want to whatever. Those are kind of the easier things to list. But when we're talking about vision, I want you to think about like your job. Hopefully that's probably coaching, but maybe not. Maybe you have another full-time job, right? That's totally cool too. What do your days look like? Who are you spending time with? What are you doing during your day for your job? Like, what is your dream, guys? What is your dream? The question that was posed to me when I came in was, you know, if you had all the money and all the time, all the money and all the time, what would your life look like? And then thinking about these categories, how would you spend your days in your work? What would you do? Who would you work with? What would you be doing? Think about your finances. If I had all the money in the world, I'd have a lot of money in the bank, right? I'd have retirement set up. We just met with a financial planner yesterday, and we have not saved for college yet. Thank God Beachbody is doing well. And we just found out we have to save $38,000 a year per child. It's like, for the love of Jesus, what did you just tell me? $38,000 a year per child, so we have enough saved. I was like, oh, good God, we should have started this a long time ago. So if I had all the money in the world, I'd be able to stroke a check right now, knowing that that's going to be easy. I would have no concerns about paying for school for my children. So think about, what would your financial situation look like? How much money would you have saved? Third category, your house. This is a fun one because we just moved into our dream house. I literally wrote down, you guys, 4.5 years ago, all about my dream house at the beach and surfing with my children and family nights, you know, with friends, surfing at the beach, coming back, grilling out. Like, that is literally my life right now. I literally would see it every single morning. Guys, I was an Emerald coach, waking up, reading the vision about the dream house at the beach, the life that I was going to be living, you know, pouring in to other people with my knowledge and being able to help them level up. I had the dream. And then, I mean, I was nowhere in this business, but it made me hustle. It made me show up and do the work every single day. And in such a short amount of time, we're here. Your relationships. What do your relationships look like? Your friends, your family, all of that. Your body. If this is your dream life, what's your body look like and feel like? What kind of shape are you in? What kind of freaking freedom do you have because you're not so worried about food and exercise? And then last but not least, which is my favorite, community. Community, and this is kind of two different categories. Like, how are you going to give back? And what's your free time going to look like? I just started taking hip hop classes this year because I'm like, that's something I want to do, you know? And I finally have time to do it. How would you give back? All the money in the world, you guys. And this is like, I don't know, this strikes a deep, deep chord with me. I'm like going to get emotional already. Being able, I remember one of the first things that my biggest thing, financial freedom, was being able to send my kids to any school I wanted. They're not in some uber private school, but I wanted the freedom to choose. Just freedom. Freedom was what I wanted. Freedom to choose. I didn't want money to dictate my decisions. But giving back. I was not that far into coaching, and we went downtown for Thanksgiving. We feed the homeless whenever we can. And it was Christmas. And the woman looked at my husband and I and said, you're gotta go close the door. We gotta turn them away. We don't have any food left. We're out. And Brian said, I'll be right back. And he took his truck and he took our 9-year-old son at the time and went down the street and got like 100 pizzas. That's something we wouldn't have been able to afford to do. And to be able to know that it's not, you know, a huge sacrifice, or we can't like pay our tuition because we're getting these pizzas. To be able to just walk in and say, hey, I need 100 pizzas, feels really good. For my little girl on one of those nights downtown to come up to me and say, Mommy, that man has no shoes. And to be able to go, well, this is what we're going to do tomorrow. And to be able to walk in and buy a man a pair of shoes. Because money isn't an object anymore. Those are the types of things that I didn't know I was creating. You know, when my husband can sit down and look at me now and say, where do you want to give? Like, you got all this money sitting in the bank. What's on your heart? What kind of an impact do you want to be able to make? Yes, we've always given our time. We've always shown up. We've always served. But I didn't know that little old me that came in here so broken 4.5 years ago was going to have the power to walk in and stroke a really big check to something that I cared so deeply about. Like, those are things that my dreams were made of. My dreams weren't even made of that because it felt so impossible. But it's not. You know, and this isn't just me, you guys. Like, I've seen 2 of my coaches buy their dream houses this year, and it's not about a dream house. It's about changing the fabric of your family's life. You know, it's a shift in, you know, I always say, like, we're rebuilding families here. You know, when you give a woman her power back, when she steps into that, you shift a marriage and you shift a family, and kids get their moms back. Like, you've got to find what speaks to you and not just hear it at a retreat, guys, not just hear it at Summit, not just hear it at a seminar you're going to, because that does nothing. I love all those things. But if you don't put it into your daily practice, it's not going to change. So let me go back to this. So we've got our vision, right? We've got our vision. We're reading it every single day. Every single day. I did it this morning. I looked over my goals. I read my vision. I could have, like, dropped my kids off at school and strolled back in the house and, like, folded some laundry, done some stuff, scrolled the gram. But I am like, I know what's at stake. I know what I got to do from 8 to 8:15, 8:15 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9, 9 to 9:30. Like, I got to show up. And I've got to get results and move the needle and do IPA, income producing activities. Because there is a lot at stake. This isn't just your life. It's about the people that you're going to serve and the team that you're going to build and the lives that you're going to change. So read my vision. I look at so the very first thing I do, but vision has to be there, is I write down in my book of wins. How is that vision coming true? And don't tell me that some days there aren't wins, because there are every single day. Your brain is just literally conditioned in negativity. You can condition your brain to see the blessings on the hardest days. I mean, one of the biggest gifts yesterday was like, holy crap, I just lost $1,500 and I didn't skip a freaking beat. That is a gift. Like, that is a vision come true. That's the kind of mindset that I wanted so desperately to have. That is such a gift. There are gifts every day. And that's why vision has to run deep, because it's not just a business goal. It's not just 5-star elite. It's, you know, yesterday I got to pick up my little girl and, like, go shopping and have just super, super present face-to-face time with her. Like, that's the life I want. That's the things that I'm creating. That's the time freedom that this job has given me. So those are huge wins that happened yesterday. So there are wins every single day. So I literally shoot my energize and I'm writing in my book of wins. I'm writing it down. Next thing I do is I look at my goals. Yearly first, monthly second, weekly third. You have to have weekly goals. And then I read my vision and then I work out. So book of wins, goals, vision, workout. Personal development, sometimes when I am listening or when I'm working out, sometimes it's just intertwined in there. But that morning process, minus the workout, should take you no more than 10 minutes. And it is the rock that's going to move everything forward. And having those weekly goals is huge, you guys. It's so huge. Because let me give you this quick example that I always tell my team. On Sunday, everyone is going to put up in my team like goals for the month, right? I want to be at SC20. I want to be at SC20. I want to be at SC30. I want to hit SC10. I want to advance some emeralds. I want to do this. And I was like, okay, so it's Sunday. This is what I'll probably do. I'll probably pop into my team page on Monday after I see all these boards. And I'll be like, okay, so just to pull an example, I see 15 coaches that want to be at SC20 at the end of the month. That's an awesome goal to have. If you want to build this business, you should be bare minimum SC20. That means you got to be in Success Club by Friday, right? You just take 20 and divide it by 4 weeks. And so that's reverse. Everyone gets scared. Like, I don't know how to reverse engineer things. It's very easy to reverse engineer business goals. SC20 equals SC5 in week 1. So Monday morning, when you sit down, you're not sitting down with like, God, this is the month. I'm going to hit SC20. I know I'm going to do it. I know I've been saying that for 12 months, but this is the month. This will be the month if you sit down on Monday morning and go, holy crap, I need to be in Success Club by Friday. Let me get laser focused on how that's going to happen. And everything's going to change, right? So really reverse engineering those end of month goals as you go into March into weekly goals. And just a quick example of this, I remember last January, I had like busted my butt all month and I was exhausted. And my husband and I were actually driving to Ashley Smith's retreat on the last Friday of the month. And I couldn't wait because I felt like I finally would be able to relax and unwind and just detach. And we got in the car on Friday morning. We had like a 4.5-hour drive and I had my coffee and I like have my phone and he's driving. And all of a sudden I flipped the page in my planner and I saw my monthly goal. And I had told my team that I was going to hit SC60. And that's high SC for me, by the way. I never usually hit that. But SC60 was my goal. And I was at Success Club 52 that Friday morning. And I kind of did a big sigh. And I said, hey, babe, how long till we get there? And he said 2.5 hours. And I had spent the last hour and a half working, which meant I checked into some team pages. I scrolled Instagram. I responded to the messages that were coming in, but I wasn't really doing anything productive. And all of a sudden I knew that I had 2.5 hours to sell 4 challenge packs and everything shifted instantaneously. I had a goal that was super defined, super clear, and had to get done in 2.5 hours. And guess what I did, guys? I sold 4 challenge packs before I got out of the car. Because I had a vision. I wanted to get it out of the car and detach. I wanted to spend time with my husband. That vision was super clear. And I knew what I had to do to get it done. And the conversations changed and the urgency changed and the follow-ups changed and the excitement changed and everything in every conversation changed. Instead of, hey girl, how you doing? Just wanted to check in. It was like, oh my God, girl, we're getting this group prep this weekend. I'm getting ready to get out of the car in an hour. We need to get you signed up right now. Are you in? How different is that kind of work versus the blasé scrolling, checking in, forming some friends? So we have to have the vision, the goal, the clarity, and whole nother call, extreme time management. Time blocking will save you. I feel like I always looked at Melanie Mitro. Whenever I would hear Melanie speak, I would literally be like, I always thought I was good at time management, but then I would hear Melanie and I'd be like, I swear the girl gets done by 10 a.m. on Monday what I usually get done in 3 or 4 days of work. And so I just always tried to get better, always tried to get better. Where you're going to get better is just in the attempt to get better. It's never going to look perfect. Life is always going to come at us. The schedule is always going to get thrown out the window, but you're constantly course correcting and just trying it again, trying it again, trying it again. And you will slowly but surely get better over time. Okay, it's 2:31. I really want to talk to you guys for another 30 minutes, but I have a kid's birthday party today. So I have to go pick up my little one and balloons and a cake and all that jazz.
Well, we love you and we will continue this discussion after this, because I know lots of them have all their wheels turning and ideas and things like that. But I just want you to know how much we love you. Like, we're total Moira fans. So we love you. So thanks for taking the time. Next, yeah, my whole team has Rise Up. Like,
oh, yay.
So next retreat will fly you out for sure.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That's what I have with you guys.
Yeah, we're doing it. It's happening.
Awesome.
All right, go have fun.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me.
See you, girl.